I'm Dana Bash on Capitol Hill, and joining me now is Senator Doug Jones, a Democrat of Alabama, and his very first national interview since the impeachment trial began. Thank you, Senator, for braving the cold
It's
out
not
here.
a problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, first of all, you tweeted last night about the Bolton news, saying that, how important it is to hear from him.
Yeah. Well, look, I have been saying that for a month or several weeks. I wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post. When you have witnesses who have firsthand information and knowledge, and they've got documents one way or another, I think you have to hear from those witnesses. I think the American people deserve to hear from those witnesses, and it only seems appropriate that the Senate of the United States subpoenas those witnesses, get them here. He said he was going to testify. He did not do that in the House. He said he's willing to testify. Let's hear him. And importantly, the president gets cross-examination. His lawyers can cross-examination about whether it's true or not.
So I don't need to tell you, you are one of the most, if not the most vulnerable Democrat in the Senate right now.
Yeah, they keep saying that.
You're
up
for re-election. Jeff Sessions wants his old seat back. And you're in a state where the president won by about 30%, 30 percentage points. So what are you hearing from people back home about this position, and more importantly, the articles of impeachment?
Well, it's really been fairly mixed. We have a number of people that have called, that have emailed, and they're supporting the president, and I appreciate that. We've also had a significant number, it's not the same, but a significant number who either want him removed or particularly they want to hear witnesses in a fair trial. And I think that that's really important, because even though the president has a lot of supporters in Alabama, those supporters deserve to hear the entire case.
And so that term fair trial, which your Democratic colleagues are using, that's resonating even in Alabama?
Absolutely. They deserve to hear that. They want to know if the president that they voted for abused his office, and if he did not, they want to hear that as well, not just the inferences and the speculation.
So already we're hearing Republican senators begin to say, come on, there's nothing new here with John Bolton. Or another argument that we're starting to hear them say is that the House should have done this. It's not up to the Senate to call brand new witnesses.
Right.
This should have been dealt with and litigated in the courts, if need be, by the House Democrats.
Well, I think that that's two different questions, and issues. Number one, whether the House did it or did not do it is an important question. I think that's an important question for Article 2. But the Senate of the United States has a separate duty under our rules, under the Constitution, to try the case. I think we are duty-bound to give the people of America a full, fair, and complete trial, regardless. And if you look at what the House managers presented early, in all 15 previous impeachments, presidential impeachments, judicial impeachments, they all had new witnesses and documents in the Senate. No one ever said, just take the House's case and move it over. They had new witnesses. They did their own. And I think we should do that.
You mentioned Article 2. There are 2 articles of impeachment before you.
Yeah.
And that you're going to have to vote on. Are you thinking of them differently? Sounds like you're more skeptical.
Unlike some people, I have tried to separate the two. I guess that's my lawyer training, when a judge says each count of an indictment stands on its own. So I've been looking at them separately and listening to the arguments to see where they are, and I'm going to try to keep those unconnected. Unfortunately, sometimes, though, when the White House continues to withhold information, it's hard to keep those separated. I am doing that, and that's what I want to continue to do.
Okay. Senator, thank you.
Hey, my pleasure, Dan.
I really appreciate it.